So this Ask Me Anything today is from a client of mine who was inquiring about how do you kind of awaken or reconnect to your creativity, your creative spirit when, life just gets more and more hectic and there's just no room to be quiet and still and connect through another medium. So I wanted to unpack this a little bit because being creative is something that I've been encouraging for years. And I walk the talk. So weekly, I do a pottery class, and I have been doing pottery since the early 2000. And I love it. It is my meditative retreat in my week. It's 4 hours of just sublime connection with mud and clay and my hands. I don't go on the wheel, I just hand build, and I love it. It is so tactile, it's so satiating, it's aesthetically pleasing as you watch something evolve and develop. And this is what we need, because when I am working on a piece, I might take the entire 4 hours to build one piece. I used to be very prolific and fast. It was like I was just like plowing through techniques and textures and shapes, and it was like I was just trying. And now I've slowed right down. And I mean, I'll take 4 hours to work on one piece. You ask my pottery teacher. I'll put her link below because she's local and she's just divine. Terrie, she's just divine. So if you're watching this, Terrie, I love you. Okay, because she creates this space to kind of find your own way, and yet she keeps an eye on what you're doing in case your piece is going to fall apart in the kiln, kind of thing. And that's exactly what I need right now. But she also will give you really specific one-on-one directions, whether you're a beginner or what, doesn't matter. Anyway, Terrie. So that's just one of my outlets. Another outlet that I have is like right here. Okay, you see this craziness? So what I'll do is, I literally, dollar store, go to the dollar store, you can get these great big tablets of art paper for, $4. And I literally just start with no plan, no vision. I just start doodling. And I might finish it in one go, or I might just keep working at it for like 2 hours. And during that time, I'm not really trying to be creative. I'm actually processing stuff on a number of different levels. And so this just becomes, so this is perhaps more of using creativity as a meditation. And so my goal is not to create something. It is to be in the space of creation energy itself, to actually process and deepen the connection with myself. If it turns out at the end that it looks kind of cool, or it's something that I want to place around my home, like some of my pottery pieces, or give them away as gifts, that's a bonus. So, I'll just show you some of these, because some of them are, like I literally started out with just a bit of a shape, and then it just evolves from there, like just markers. That's all I'm using. Here's one that's a little bit more kind of complex, with lots of lines and crosses and over top. And anyway, you can see it's all just kind of a little bit of a slower process. And I might have done this at 2 or 3 settings. So when I activate one of these, I leave it set up. So, and I give myself permission to leave a mess while I'm in this creation process, because I solve a lot of problems for myself doing this. Things I just can't work out, solutions I'm looking for, answers I'm looking for more clarity on just within myself or in my life or in my business. This is what I do. So there's another one. And each one has a different mood. Hey, you can almost sense it. If you're sensitive, you'll almost pick up on what was going on with me while I was doing this. And so I really I really love these, but let me see if I got another one here. Oh, here, this one's really kind of, you know, kind of. This one took a long time. This one took several sittings, but it would call at me. And like even in the middle of the day, if I had like, a bit of a gap between my sessions, I would walk past where I had it all set up, which is usually on my living room couch, so I can look out my big bay window and see, outside. And I would just go down, and I would just go down into the rabbit hole of just being with this very meditative, creative process. And it's very nurturing. It's very satisfying. And then you reach a point where, okay, it's time to stop and resist the temptation to decorate. You know what I mean? And maybe there's a little decorating going on, but then there's a point where you have to abandon the process. You have to abandon the creative process and just let it be. And so, yeah, I don't think I have any more. Oh, see, here's one I've started. I was, started with a dragon, and I started that months ago, and I haven't yet come back to finish it. So it might be done. I don't know. Anyway, there's all kinds of things. You can even make, baking a creative outlet for you, or cooking a beautiful meal, or folding the laundry, or doing a sink full of dishes, organizing a cupboard, pulling everything out of your drawers and purging what you no longer need and passing it on to someone else. There's so many ways for us to get into our creative expression, which isn't constant. It is constantly changing and morphing because it is a reflection of our internal connection, our open inward world. And so, as children, we so naturally gravitate toward, expressing ourselves creatively. You give an 18-month-old a box of crayons, and they go to town, right? And anything is a canvas, whether it's your walls or your doors or it's lots of fun. And the same thing with markers. I can remember my daughter, who got a hold of some of my markers and decided to decorate herself, which was really, really quite interesting. Anyway, that's another story, but it's lots of fun having kids and supporting their creativity and creating spaces for them to nurture that, because we so often lose it as an adult. So I often say to people, what did you love to do that was creative when you were a child? And, you'll find that that's kind of a nice starting place. I had a client last week, and I said, just walk into Michael's, which is here in Canada, it's a big kind of chain of, where they sell lots and lots of art supplies, or any art supply, or even the dollar store. It doesn't matter. And just see what tickles the fancy of your inner child. Okay. And just have a play. It's not about outcomes. It's not about creating something beautiful. It's just about stepping into the process and seeing it as a meditation, and letting that meditation, nurture you in the ways that only creativity can. So when we nurture our creativity, we're working with creation energy. So when we stimulate that creation energy in our own self-connection, where do you think that takes us? Then it wants to show up everywhere, right? So we might create a new service, or we might create a new friendship, or we might completely redecorate something because we're stimulated, and then we're living more and more in that creation energy, which requires us to be grounded and centered in the moment. Okay? So give it a try. I'd love to know what you're doing that's your creative outlet. Put a picture below, show us all. Let's inspire each other, okay? Because what someone else is doing that's creative might be something you've never thought of, right? So like I have another friend, and she'll know if she watches this, she loves to crochet. And it's just her way of doing the same thing I'm doing with the clay or with paper and markers, and it's just this connection that you're doing with yourself and being in creation energy. It's very, very satisfying. So what else can I tell you? You could also call it your meditation time, okay? Because it can be I think a lot of people get stuck in how meditation should be, like it's like a Zen meditation and you have no thoughts. Well, you know what, that takes a long time to reach that place. And we're never going to stop down the thoughts. So, but what we can do is we can actually synchronize to the thoughts and actually give them a place to settle so that we can start reorganizing them by just being in another process. And so it's, in a sense, it's a by process going on. We're doing a creative process, but we're also creatively thinking and reorganizing and ruminating over things from different perspectives that we can't get if we're just stuck up in the cerebral part with the brain, the mind that thinks it's a body that's not. So creative meditations give us a reconnection back into our body mind. So that's very cool. All right. I'm just looking at my notes if there's anything else that I wanted to share. So practice anything. Like just see which creative outlet appeals to you in the moment and just do it. Maybe get a little tray of watercolors and a tablet of watercolor paper and just do it. Just make a mess. Doesn't matter. Just play with the way the colors blend together. Play with odd shapes. You don't have to create a beautiful thing. So take away the pressure of having to create an outcome, having to create anything, and just be in creation energy and let it take you on a journey, right? And so the other point I want to make is don't go into a creative meditation with an agenda to solve a problem. Just go in with the intention of exploring your connection to creation energy. And just let that problem find its way into your process. And if it doesn't, so be it. Okay? You have to kind of just surrender to the process and don't have any expectations or conditions. That's when we corrupt everything. All right? I've always said when there's no conditions, miracles happen. All right. That's all I'm going to say. And I would love, love, love to see what you're working on or what you'd like to work on, even if you haven't started it and you want to show me a picture of your new set of watercolors and your new set of brushes. And then we can inspire each other. Because you know what? That's the only way we ever change is when we are inspired. So maybe I've inspired you a tiny little bit, and maybe you're going to inspire me and others. So let's do it. Let's do that inspiration dance together. Okay, you take care. Cheerio. Bye. How would you like to supercharge your intuition? How would you like to learn to deliver a powerful, empowering psychic reading with or without experience in the ways of just to yourself or to your family and friends, or beyond that to a client base? You know, you have this feeling inside of you, that's why you're listening, that you haven't reached your psychic potential yet. So there's a part of you that is also aware that you have a soul mission. And that soul mission is still kind of unresolved, it's unrequited, it's unexpressed. So imagine psychic development training that is designed to not just train up your psychic faculty, but to actually inspire you to make a difference by helping you come into alignment with your mission, your purpose, and to also come out of alignment with some of the lies that you're telling yourself or that have been imprinted into your consciousness. These things have to work side by side. We can't just develop our intuition and not also work on ourselves. And so this program, Open Inward to Eternal Wisdom, is, has it all so that you are able to really come into this state of balance and really start fulfilling that destiny. But you've got to cross over a threshold, right? From the old to the new. So you might think, oh, I'm too busy, or, I can't do this right now for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. The timing has to feel right. Yes, this is true. But sometimes we need to push ourselves over a threshold, right? So we have to recognize the difference. So which is it for you? Maybe you just need more information. Maybe you're quietly struggling with a spiritual depression. What's that? That's when we're not in alignment with our purpose and we're not in alignment with our gifts, and we need to do some work in that area. So let me tell you a little bit about Open Inward to Eternal Wisdom. It is about developing your psychic skills and building the courage and the confidence to actually express the information that you are receiving and to interpret it, to understand your very own vernacular, your own sacred language, your own archive of data that you filter through. But it's also about feeling worthy and in alignment with your purpose. This is really, really big. So learning to deliver a powerful psychic reading requires a really solid foundation, a nice rounded connection within yourself, and like a spiritual practice. It's all-encompassing, and that's what I created. This is what I always wanted when I needed help, and I continue to get help all along the way. I've been teaching this program now to students internationally, and I've been doing psychic readings for over 35 years. This is what I've done. I know my stuff. I've also been doing body-centered alternative, Eastern, Western, shamanic, metaphysical wellness stuff, like for over 30 years. I know my stuff, all right? But we're in this really interesting, unprecedented time where a lot of people are waking up, right? And you're waking up and you're looking for your coaches, your guides, your mentors, your teachers, the information, and you won't find this on a YouTube video. Okay, I want to hold your hand while we go on a journey, and it is a very tight, very intimate group that I work with, and I only do this twice a year because it's very high touch. 8 people, 8 weeks. Come with me on this journey. You won't regret it, I promise. So I think that's all I'm going to share with you. This is just a little wet your whistle. You know what? Book a discovery call. I want to talk to you about your intuition, okay? So book a discovery call. Let's have a chat. Let's see if this is what you need to do to move into this next stage of your life, into your purpose, into the alignment with why you came here and how you can make a difference. That's your soul mission. All right. I look forward to meeting you. I really do.